what we're really here to talk about
Yeah.
is your journey to meditation and what that looks like for you in your life, because I'm so thrilled to hear and to experience. And I have to say, I loved we did a Zoom session where you led me through a guided meditation and I loved it. So I want to hear about your journey.
Sure.
What brings you here?
So I'd like to say that meditation has been a part of my life for many, many years, like 30 years probably. But I think I enjoyed meditation. I enjoyed the practice of meditation, but I never really truly understood the benefits of it. Or that even perhaps that what I was doing that I enjoyed was meditation, was defined as meditation. Let's just say that. So what led me to become a meditation teacher was started on a beautiful summer afternoon a couple years ago. We were just enjoying kind of the end of the summer. My daughter decided to go out on the lake. We live in a beautiful area on the lake.
And how old was she? How old was
she? Would have been 14.
Okay.
14. So it was her first day out on the lake with friends on jet skis, having a good time. And we dropped her off in the morning, afternoon came around, and I was like, gosh, she's been out a long time, I should check in. And not shortly after that, I get a phone call, and it's a woman on the other line who says to me, hi, my name is so-and-so. I have your daughter, Nikki. She's been in an accident on the lake. We've called the ambulance. We're taking her to this marina. Meet us there. And I say, I'm sorry. You're going to have to repeat each. I didn't get any of that.
Come again?
Come again. So she repeated it to me. I repeated it out loud to Brent, as I had no idea where she was talking about, marina, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we go to this marina, and sure enough, they're bringing her off the boat, and her leg is damaged. And all I could think was, oh my gosh, she was supposed to leave for volleyball camp the next day. All I could think is, oh my gosh, she'll be lucky if she's able to do anything sports-wise. I mean, it looked bad. And this was the first time in my life that any of my kids had experienced a serious accident, right? Something threatening to them. Her friends could not have been more wonderful. We went to the hospital. She was checked out. We thought she broke her leg, blah, 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 blah. But while we're at the hospital, I get messages from one of her friends' moms saying, hey, we heard there was an accident. Ella's getting messages about another girl, and she's concerned. And I'm like, what are these messages? And she says, RIP. And I say, oh my God, what? Because all I know is that Nikki's been injured. I didn't know anybody else was in the accident or injured. And here, I mean, I guess I did know that there was someone else that had been injured, but we didn't know the extent of anything. And sure enough, her good friend, also in the accident, pretty much was hit in the head and we think died instantaneously on the lake. And so this is just before they're going into their freshman year of high school. It was a group of 6 kids that were on the lake. It was a freak accident, but now they're all having to go through this horrible experience and really not having the tools to process it. And as a mom, I didn't have the tools to process it or to know how to treat my daughter and her friends or the community, right? Because we had students who were coming to our school who were brand new. It's a small school, so everybody knows one another. It just, it was such a hard situation to deal with. And I know so many, it's amazing how many people then you talk to who then say, I had a similar experience when I was in high school, right? I mean, it's amazing how many people go through a tragedy like this. And you start to talk to people. And for me, the hardest thing was my daughter ended up being okay. She eventually, fully recovered. But to this day struggles with anxiety and depression and memories that trigger her. But at the time, we were both going to therapists, trying to deal with it. Everybody was, right? It became a community thing where all the families who were involved on that day, we got together every night. And I've come to realize now that because we needed that connection, we needed each other. We needed to share, to try to understand, to be there for one another. We needed that connection. But I was still struggling on my own with, I would show up like to pick Nikki up for school, for example, and I couldn't even have a conversation with her dean or the principal or anybody. I would just start crying. And I said to her dean one day, I said, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do so that I can be here for her, for all of them. Like, I just could not hold my stuff together. And I remember it was my therapist one day who said to me, have you tried meditation? And I said, I don't really think I know how to do it. And I don't want to do it on my own. And she said, there's group meditation. I can find you a group meditation to go to. I don't know. I said, okay, I'll try. So I tried 4 different group meditations until I found one that provided me with the type of meditation I think I was comfortable with, that was open, that just taught me, the true thing I've learned in meditation is to pause, is to take a moment to pause and to be mindful before I try to react, before I try to allow my autopilot to take over, because that's really what had been happening to me, right? An emotion would come up, and whatever my reaction to the emotion was just autopilot. And I didn't have the tools to pause, to notice what it was, and then use wisdom to respond appropriately.
Yeah.
And I would tell you that, from the first meditation class and then many other experiences, and then I dive in, right? I am like a lifelong learner. I dive in. So then I'm like, where can I get more information? Because this seems to work for me. So I want more. I want more. I got to learn more. And, so for the past probably 3 years prior as well, I had been searching for, what is it I'm supposed to do now, right? So as you know, I was in the business world. I had a big career. Then I had kids, took a break, moved a lot, got divorced, started a photography business, taught photography. That was very successful. That was great. But when I moved to North Carolina, I was ready for something else, but I didn't know what that something else was. And through all of this experience, through the searching, the learning, the going to classes, the connecting, I realized, what I want to do? I want to give back. I knew I wanted to do something that was giving back to people, that was gonna make the world better, right? I truly believe that there is a purpose, that I'm supposed to give something back. And I've searched for that forever. And it
Mm.
finally came together that I can give this back to the teenagers. Like, I want to teach them mindfulness. I want to give them these tools, these techniques that I have learned that have allowed me to become a better mom, to become a better wife, to just become a better person. I mean, and my kids will tell you I'm like a better mommy now than I was when they were young. And I so wish I knew these things when they were young.
I don't know. I'd say you were a pretty good mom all along, but fine.
But I'm better.
Fine.
So
There's
it
always
all
that.
like, it all like came together that I want to learn this. I want to become a teacher, and I want to give it back to others. And so, I mean, I can give you a real life, up to the moment experience.
Yes, please.
Nikki has been texting, my daughter has been texting me today because she's just having a rough day.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to school late. She didn't know if she could make it through her classes. She doesn't know what's going on. She's crying. She's texting me. I'm crying. I don't know how to stop. I don't know what's going on. I have practice today. What do I say to coach? Should I come home? And I said to her, try this. I mean, she's tried everything. But I'm like, try this one technique instead of saying, oh my God, we'll just come home, or,
Right.
you'll be fine.
The reaction.
Or,
right?
yeah.
The autopilot reaction is, let's take the pain away. Let's fix this.
Let's fix it, right? Let's yeah. And you're okay. You're okay.
And, deny it or fix it. Make it go away.
Yeah. And
what did you do?
So I said to her, I said, I'm, one, acknowledging it. Like, I'm so sorry you're having a rough day. You know that your nervous system is overwhelmed right now. I don't know why that's happening. And I'm sure you don't know why that's happening. But can you take a moment and here's a technique. So I gave her a technique that I don't know that she's ever done before. I said, do this, this, and this. Like,
do you want to share the technique that you shared with her?
Yeah. So it's, I don't even know if it has a name. It probably has a name, like break the chaos or something. But basically you focus on 3 things that you can see around you.
Right.
And instead of saying like water bottle, you would say red, metal, scratchy, full bottle, right? So you really describe the thing.
Yeah.
So 3 things you see, 3 things you hear, and then 3 things you feel. And it's calming your nervous system.
It's bringing you into the present.
It's bringing you into the present, and it's allowing your parasympathetic nervous system to come into being, right? Taking you
right down. And instead of
instead of that fight or fright, which is what she's in, right?
Right. If she's feeling a traumatic, maybe PTSD, a flashback, or her body might be somewhere else.
Yeah,
she's bringing awareness, mindfulness to her now, here, now body.
Yeah.
That is so powerful.
And it's something, instead of just, maybe in the past I would say just, take a breath. Like that's not enough for her, right? But to have something tangible to do, but also that makes her think a little bit deeper, or do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Trying those 3 things. And then she says to me, I tried that already. It didn't work. So here she knows more than me, right? She knows this technique. I said, well, you just need to do it over and over again, because maybe your nervous system is so activated that you're going to have to try and match it and bring it down. And she said, okay. And now I haven't heard from her. So maybe that helps. but just having these tools and these techniques that instead of me saying, you'll be fine, why do you keep, thinking about that thing? Why do you keep telling yourself those same stories? Why do you keep, following that autopilot mind of yours?
Right.
Which is what we're doing or she's doing, right? But
Right.
it doesn't do any good to tell her that in the moment when she needs a way to.
So your practice has enabled you to do that pattern interrupt and that break, so you can be present for your children.
Absolutely.
And for your experience, for the people in your life, where you're not just saying either the just stop it, or, oh, let me fix it. The mom, switching between those different mom modes of the role that we play, where it's either a guilt response of whatever we tell ourselves, I've got to go fix my daughter, or the guilt response or whatever, like, I can't have you having a meltdown right now. I'm a meditation teacher. My daughter can't be breaking down. All the ego things, right? It's all the ego talking that is keeping that when we're out of the present moment, we're not available for our experience. So we respond from the ego. You were able to be very present with her in her needing her time that she needed. That's all she needed. Validation of what she's experiencing, and support, and you holding space for it and giving her tools that she already knows, reinforcing the tools. It's one thing to know tools, isn't it? Oh, I know meditation, I've done it. But to know it, to embody it, to practice it.
Yeah.
And meditation has given you that
absolutely
pause. Yeah, that buffer.
Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing, I was listening to a podcast earlier today on my run, and they were just talking about being aware. And a lot of times that really lofty idea of, a Buddhist monk meditating is that they are enlightened or they are aware. But this is like way down lower, just in the terms of being aware, being here, being in the present, being in the now. And I can find that, while we constantly leave it and come back, I am more in it than I am out of it. And for every aspect of my life, that is a benefit.
Yes.
Like just in the way you see things, in the way you appreciate things, you savor things, you make connections, right? I mean, biases go away. There's so many things. And I'm just calmer.
Right. I think something you just pointed out about bias is sort of, what's the word, disintegrating in a way where it becomes a lot less me against the world, or me against you, or, why is my child or my husband or my boss or somebody behaving in a certain way? What's wrong with them? It's a very different space to be in when you're just aware of, we're all just doing this thing. And that connection with people and our environments is very different when we just, what's the word? When we're more in the here and now.
Yeah, because we're using that, we're using our wisdom to react. Or sometimes it's like the right mind, the right mindset, the right path. We use that wisdom instead of that autopilot, because it's that autopilot. It's all those stories, all those things in the past that are in our brain that if we only listen to that autopilot, that's when we have those reactions. That's when we say, oh, I don't like that person, or oh, I don't like that, or
look what they're doing to me.
Yes, right? And it's based on something perhaps we've experienced in the past or a story we've been told, so it may not even be true,
Right.
right? But it's past, and that autopilot allows that to be the first thing that pops up.
Yeah.
And when you use, meditative or mindfulness techniques, or you're in this present moment, you can stop, take that minute to say, oh, is that the right way to respond? Or is that just a story? Is that just an emotion? Does that really pertain to this moment, to right now, to this situation? And you can make that assessment versus just reacting as you would have maybe in the past. And you become more open, you become more accepting, you become more,
Absolutely. And one of the things that I found through all of this meditation practice and all of the work that we do, that one does, not we, you, me, but me or you or anything, but what one can do as they learn to basically, what I see meditation as is just a break from life in the day to reconnect with my center. And my center is collective consciousness. It's connecting with the universe, that infinite wisdom that you speak about. Wisdom. Okay, where is this coming from? And what it does for me is, when I'm less judgmental of me, I'm less judgmental of others. And so when I'm more compassionate, more loving, more patient with myself, and I can have a sense of like an understanding of where certain emotions are coming from, I do the same for other people. And that's another thing that really melts the walls between people. And you, instead of going, why is that person behaving that way to me? It's like you have a kindred connection with everybody and everything. And the other thing that meditation has done for me, what it did from the very, very beginning when I started in 2015, as you know, I have a very challenging experience with my ex-husband and one of my children, who had a really strong personality. Later, we realized he was on the autism spectrum, and there was always such conflict. And when I started to meditate, practice that regularly, what it gave me was a buffer between a stimulus and my response. And that buffer, where it used to be like this, and he would do something, I'd go, ah! Instead, like you're talking about, it gives you that space between to access wisdom.
Yeah.
And instead of feeling attacked or feeling like I've got to do something, stop this, fix it, not allow it, I can be with it.
Right.
And it's a very different way to live life.
Oh, it feels so much better, doesn't it?
Yeah, so much better. And people respond to you better. And then that's where whatever shifts happen on the inside, the outside world really does start to reflect that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I talk about the outside world reflecting that, right? I mean, my journey into becoming a teacher was that I decided I wanted to give this back to adolescents, right? So what is my dream there? My
vision
ultimate would be that I could go to Nikki's school and start small. I'm going to go to Nikki's school, and I'm going to be able to offer it to the students, because I think it would be helpful to them just to have that pause, that break, that reset before they go into their day. And so that was the first thing I could, oh my God, wouldn't that be great if I could do that? Well, I finished my teaching. I had told the deans and the head of school that I was doing this, right? Because again, small school. And sure enough, the dean called me this year and said, hey, we're changing our curriculum. We're offering this enrichment options to the kids once a week for an hour. Are you interested in coming in and teaching mindfulness for an hour for the semester to the kids? And I was like, oh my God, Michelle, like that would be my dream. Like Yes, that's why I started this teaching program, so that I could be legitimate, so I could offer it. So, right, the world starts to reflect back to you. It gives back to you what you put out there. And yeah, yeah. So in 2 weeks, I'll be teaching it.
That's very exciting. Oh, I
And
love that.
hopefully changing, if I can touch one person and help them in their day, that would be awesome.
Well, I see that happening for sure, because these children need it, and it will absolutely start to make differences and shifts in their minds. And just being in your presence, this is another thing, that another benefit of just general meditation and self-care practices. Your vibration, your invisible energy frequency, you just tune into a higher frequency that is very attractive and magnetic, and people will feel uplifted just in your presence. And I know you did that before you even started this whole meditation thing. That's just who you were. You elevated people, you reflected back to people the radiant light within them. It's a pretty unique gift. And now you've got like, even more of that, because you've got a practice around it. And I think that you're going to really make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives. And as you know, I've already started sending people to you, because I don't teach meditation, but I have a lot of people who are interested. I'm like, hey, so I see you having quite this being one of those trajectory shifting moments in time for you, where now my life is going this way. Yeah. It's really exciting.
Wonderful. It is exciting and wonderful. And yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled. Because you search and wondering, how do I meet that thing that I know I'm supposed to do, and that I want, what is it? How do I define it? And now I feel like
it finds you. It finds you.
Another path. It's
Yeah.
And so tragedy, maybe put me on a tighter course to get there.
And I think that women in our stages of life, where we're kind of past the little kid stage, and maybe working on different life stories and different, we've had a lot of experience. A lot of women in our stage are really at that place where they're like, how do I give? Like, I know I'm here for a bigger reason. And oftentimes it's through trauma. And I call it post-traumatic growth. Like there's growth to be had. Like our trauma, our tragedy, when we're in that. I remember when you and I first really started connecting in 2008, when a lot of the United States was experiencing financial trauma and the whole collapse of all that business. And a lot of families were experiencing that. We called it the summer of love, ironically, because a lot of our peers, and you and I including, we're going through a lot of strife maritally. And so many of us have really found our second act, if you will, our post-traumatic growth journeys. And it's really lovely to see when our purpose finds us. And I love this journey you're on. I would also love, if you would want to, maybe you want to guide us through a short meditation for the rest of this live stream. I know that that would be fun.
Absolutely. And what I'll do, which is a little bit different than what you and I have done together, this is just a practice of relaxation and maybe focusing that you can do anytime. And it'll be shorter, right?
Mhm.
So it's easy, you could do it all throughout your day, but
Yeah.
it's really allowing you to take the time to just pause and to just
Mhm.
notice and perhaps to just reset when you need to do that. And hang on one moment because my daughter just came home and I want to make sure she doesn't interrupt our quiet.
Do you want to go check in with her real quick?
Nope, she's gone right upstairs to her room. Like, don't come out and have a conversation right now, just which should be welcome to. But before we begin, so the most important thing, I think, when you start, before you start a meditation practice or at the beginning of a meditation practice, is to find a comfortable position to sit.
Yes.
And that can be in a chair. That can be sitting on a cushion on the floor. It can be lying down. It can be standing up. It could be walking. So doing something for you that allows you to be comfortable and relaxed.
I love
So,
that. I love that
right,
you're not like, this is the way.
right,
You empower people to find their way.
right, right. Because you're going to be at different places
Yeah.
at different times of the day or different places, different times of your life. So just finding a comfortable position. So for me right now, I'm sitting in a chair. So we'll begin our practice
Mhm.
by finding that comfortable position.
Okay.
Just sitting, standing, lying, and allowing the body to begin to relax and begin to move inward. So letting go of what is going on around us, letting go of whatever has happened in your day thus far, just trying to take a moment to really settle in to this place, to this body, to this moment. And you can gently close your eyes if that's comfortable to you. If not, just a slight gaze in front of you onto nothing. And what I'm going to invite you to do in this practice is I'm going to chime these bells. And what I want you to do is listen to them until they are silent. So all the way through their sound, because they will resonate. And so that's going to be the active part of this practice today. But before we do that, let's just take a moment to let gravity do its work, to allow our body to settle, to allow our thoughts to settle. Perhaps notice your breath. Notice the breath entering the body and exiting the body. As you sit and you allow gravity to do its thing, just notice whatever part of your body is touching the ground or touching the surface of a chair. It might be your feet on the ground, your bottom sitting on a chair. It could be your arms resting on the ground or on the arms of a chair. If you're lying down, it could be your back body being supported by the ground. Just notice what it feels like in this moment to be supported by the ground below you. Allowing gravity to let your whole body relax, release, and let go of all of that which is not necessary at this moment. If you notice any holding or tension in the body, just let it go. Breathe into that area, releasing, relaxing, letting go. As your body starts to release and melt, allow your attention to go a little bit more inward and focus on your body breathing. Notice where you feel the natural breath in your body. If it's the feeling of air as it enters your body, as it fills your belly, fills your rib cage or your chest. Or if you notice the breath as it enters and exits your nostrils, just notice where you feel your natural breath in your body and allow your attention to go to that spot. Slowly begin to take a little bit deeper breaths, depending on what time of day it is for you today. This may be the deepest breath you've taken all morning or all afternoon. But allow the body, allow your lungs to fill with air as you take a deep breath into your belly, filling your belly, your ribs, and your chest, and then slowly releasing that breath. And take a few more deep breaths, the deepest breath you've taken all day, using the full capacity of your lungs to just fill with that fresh air. And on your exhale, release all that is not necessary in this moment. Just letting go. After your next really deep breath and exhale, completely emptying out your lungs, allow your body to just come back to its natural state of breathing. And notice the feeling of your body breathing. I'm going to chime the bells, and I want you to just listen to them from beginning to end as the sound resonates. Just paying attention to what you can hear and feel in your body as a result of this sound. And now I invite you to just sit quietly for a few breaths. focusing on the air coming in and out of your body, allowing your attention to rest on your breath, your body breathing in and breathing out. And if other thoughts or stories or sounds or distractions come to mind, that's okay, that's normal. Allow them to come. Then as soon as you notice that you've gone down that path, let it go and come back to the feeling of your body breathing. Bringing your attention to your breath in and out. Staying just as you are. We're going to slowly come back to the present moment. I invite you to let a little movement back into your hands. Perhaps just changing their position, allowing them to fold in your lap or rest on your thighs, or just wiggle your fingers ever so gently. Allow the corners of your mouth to tip up to a slight smile. Notice the feeling of your roof of your mouth, of that soft palate, widening and opening, as if you are looking at something in awe. The soft palate is also the bottom of your mind. It is the base of the mind. And I like to think of this practice as allowing us to open our mind. Gently begin to open your eyes ever slightly, maybe a quarter of the way, allowing a little bit of light to shine in. And just notice. Notice the feeling of the body. Notice what you feel in this moment. And then gently allow your eyes to open all the way, beginning to come back to this current moment, taking in the environment around you. really seeing, really looking at things around you, perhaps in a new way, something you haven't noticed yet today. Just taking it all in and coming back to this moment. And I always end my practice with my hands to my forehead to remind me to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to my mouth to remind me to have clear and loving communication. And my hands to my heart to remind me to have clear and loving intention. So thank you, Gina. Thank you,
Thank
everyone
you.
out there, for allowing me to practice with you.
That was beautiful and amazing. Thank you.
You are
So good. So as we wrap up here, I would love to know, where can people find you if they want to learn more about what you do and follow you?
Absolutely. So, all of me. So I have a website. It's Open Mind Meditation NC, NC as in North Carolina. So openmindmeditationnc.com.
I love that.
That's where you can find the meditator.
Hopefully I have that right. Open Mind Meditation NC. Is that your website?
That is my website.
Your own. Okay. Oh, take control of your future. Yay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you once again for sharing your story and your journey and your practice with us. I really appreciate it. And I know a lot of people here will as well.
My pleasure.
And I think you are in the Evolution University group. So if people have comments or questions, they'll comment in probably in our live stream. And if you see their comments, feel free to respond and participate and engage.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And if anybody wants to learn more or one-on-one practices, yeah, I tend to do a lot of those lately. So yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm happy.
The world needs you. We need your gifts. So thank you very much once again. I appreciate it. And hopefully our paths will cross again somewhere in the world in the next couple of whenever, years, months.
I have another one, that's got to do college visits. So I'm sure.
Oh, really? Okay, good to know. That's true. Also, I've been sort of playing around with the idea of going to spend a little bit of time up in Chicago. So if I do, I don't know if, I know you and I have talked a little bit about maybe doing a little live retreat type of situation together. I would really love to do something like that with you. So just planting seeds, as I like to do.
That would be fun. I'd be all in. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Amazing.
Thank you, Gina.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rachelle. Very good to see you.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye.